Hello again, it's Crew Call here on the Motor Racing Network, taking you into the garage and talking to the folks that make the race cars go around the racetrack. We are so glad that you have joined us. If you like what we're doing here on Crew Call, like, share, subscribe, rate, review, whatever your platform allows you to do it. And we would appreciate that as we spread the Crew Call gospel. I'm Steve Post, pit road reporter for Motor Racing Network, joined by 25-time and championship-winning crew chief Todd Gordon. Hello, Todd. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Coming off a great week, Martinsville weekend.
Martinsville Speedway just delivered.
Yeah, and I want to back up. Goodyear delivered.
Yeah, absolutely true.
I'm going to go ahead and back this one up.
Yes.
I mean, we talked at this time last year, we're talking about short track racing, road course racing. It's just not that good.
100% correct, yes.
Where are we at now? We're having fabulous, outside SVG dominating every road course. We've had great racing on every one of those racetracks.
Yeah, I don't know what we do about SVG either.
Well, we all have to work on making our product better. But
Denny's comments in the aftermath, I followed with what's the racing like there, and Denny is the single biggest critic of the sport, and Denny is like, I really like the direction we're going with these tires. It's just really good.
I mean, Goodyear's done a good job, and part of that is that the garage has embraced it.
Good point. Yeah.
If you go back 15 years ago and did this, Tony Stewart would have said Goodyear didn't bring him anything that was worth a flip.
You're right.
And the garage has embraced the fact that because you're asking Goodyear to bring something that doesn't do what their prerogative is, but it's putting on better racing. And kudos to Goodyear for doing that. They put the work in, and we're seeing the fruits of that reward.
We are. The racing was phenomenal. When you have a guy that can go from 31st to eighth
in stage one caution, he did the same thing as everybody else.
Yes.
He didn't. Jonathan Hassler did not manufacture track position. Ryan Blaney passed 22
I stood there
cars.
Watching the big screen at one time, and that was just a thing of beauty.
And he actually backed up to 34th at the start of the race.
Yeah.
Taking care of tires.
Yes.
But at lap 50, it was like somebody flipped the switch. It
was insane how fast that car was.
Yeah.
Great racing. William Byron, Rudy Fugle. When you look at this
61-point day.
Yes.
Won both stages, won the race, fastest lap.
61-point day after Vegas and Talladega. They needed a 61-point day, and they delivered on it.
Yeah, but the thing, I mean, if you look at the results, you're all going to say, Vegas, Talladega. He was running second, running down his teammate when Ty Gibbs decided to arc out coming to pit road and wrecked with him.
Talladega
he was pushing his teammate to the win when his teammate ran out of gas.
Yes. Yeah, no,
they had pace.
Yeah, that was the beauty. It was like the results were nothing close to the performance in those races. But there's times that's frustrating as all get out.
Yeah, and they came here and had to win, and they executed all weekend. Won Saturday.
Yep.
Which I've always felt like you need to win Saturday, although Blaney was about to prove me wrong. But they won Saturday, got pit stall 1, executed all day. Pit road was a non-factor. They rolled out high 9s, low 10s all day long.
Good,
very consistent.
Good, consistent.
And put themselves in a position, and they took advantage of it. William Byron drove. I think, and you and I talked before this, I thought Rudy Fugle did a great job of coaching up William on when to go,
right,
when to ride. Mm-hmm. How it was going to play out, it all played out. I mean, I really felt like once Ryan Blaney got control of the race with 100 laps to go, it was over, and it wasn't.
Yeah, they pushed a little bit, they backed off a little bit, and then the move William made when that opportunity came available,
was a good racing move.
It was a great racing move.
That there was like everybody wants to make something out of this.
Yes, that's a great racing move.
William had made the move. It got inside of Blaney. Blaney was inside of a lap car, so they're 3 wide into turn 1. It's going to be tight.
The post-race press conference with Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon talked about Williams' growth in making that move.
Yeah.
Because and Jeff
confidence,
exactly. Jeff's a 4-time champion, and Jeff Gordon would have made that move every time. He did it on Rusty, bless his heart, at Bristol. It seemed like every year. Okay, but
that's why he's a 4-time champion.
Twice a 4-time champion, exactly. His comments. I just thought his comments were just absolute. And I thought at one time, I said, this looks like that 24 car we saw for years and years going around that racetrack.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. And I'll kudos to all of Hendrick Motorsports. I mean, when you look at it, Kyle Larson ran up there in the top. I mean, he battled up there in the top 5.
Chase Elliott
actually drove his way from, I think he qualified back half of the top 10. I think he was 8th or 9th, something like that. But he drove his way forward. He was a contender, had a lot of pace. Like, everybody had pace in that whole group. It looked a little bit like, and the car chief referenced this in an interview we did on Late Shift after the piece. They had the same kind of mentality that they did for the 40th anniversary race.
Couple years last spring.
Which at one point they ran 1, 2, 3, 4 in that race. Yeah. So they came with it and put themselves through the Championship 4.
Put themselves through the Championship. That's what we're going to do here on the program. We're going to talk Championship 4 for the Cup Series. We're going to talk for the Xfinity Series, and we're going to talk for the Truck Series as well. So one other note, want to mention this, Xfinity Series, Taylor Gray, career first win. You overlay that with Jason Radcliffe's 58th career win in the Xfinity Series, but Taylor Gray's been so close so many times this year.
Well, I feel like this was a payback for the spring race.
I think so, too.
I mean, really, when you look back at the Martinsville spring race, Taylor Gray was the best car there. He kind of got used up by the 8 car to get by him earlier.
Yes.
He massaged the 8 car back to get back by him, then the 8 car just flat wrecked him.
Right, which caused all kinds of angst for the 8 car and everything.
Yes.
That, and then he kept international peace by not wrecking Daniel Suarez when he could have at Mexico City.
True.
I think any other place at the time, good for Taylor Gray getting that career first win.
Yeah, I think it's, puts him in the Championship 4.
Yes, indeed. So there we go. Awesome stuff, that is for sure. All right, what we're going to do, we are going to talk Championship 4 at Phoenix coming up next. Welcome back. It is Crew Call here on the Motor Racing Network. Todd Gordon and Steve Post. And so here we are going to Phoenix this weekend. And in the NASCAR Cup Series, it is a Hendrick Motorsports versus Joe Gibbs showcase with 2 drivers from each camp.
Yeah. 2021 over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
That one worked out for Kyle Larson.
It's fascinating. I was going through notes, okay, and I talk about different crew chiefs and everything like that. James Small has been in the playoffs in 2021. With Martin Truex Jr., was leading that race. Caution with 30 laps to go. Pit road, Kyle Larson got the upper hand on it. And so Cliff Daniels, who was in that same playoff, obviously is a champion from it. And James is going to have to try to get one this weekend.
Kyle Larson won that race because he won on Saturday.
First pit box.
They came down pit road third. They were not. They were the third best car. And that first pit box, the pit crew knocked one out of the park.
Yes, they did.
Pit stall one, where the camera line was they came off pit road first and controlled the race to the end.
In my entire career of MRN, that's my favorite call because I had it, and you know how they nailed the pit stop. Well, for once in my life, I nailed the call on it too, and it's my all-time favorite call on it, and that'll stand out forever, and because it was the money stop and that sort of thing. But when we look at this is fantastic to me because all year long since the checkered flag at Phoenix last year was Penske has an unfair advantage at Phoenix. We've got to change the playoffs. We've got to change this. We've got to change.
No,
I agree. You and I have talked about this, but we've got to change everything. And we don't even have a Penske car running for the championship. Isn't that just the irony of the whole thing?
They figured out how to keep them yellow cars out, right?
They kept them yellow cars out. That is for sure.
Mean, you look at it, and I think the Championship 4, I love the 4 we've got.
I do too.
I think, Denny Hamlin, I'm going to start there with the 11 car. Denny Hamlin, I think, is in the best mindset, the best ability of his career. I feel like, he's approaching 45? He's not quite there yet, or he just...
I don't know. Somewhere
I think next month he turns 45.
Okay.
I think he's 44 right now. I think he is in the best talent, mental space that he's ever been in.
I agree. And I think as good as Chris Gabehart was as a crew chief, the little change in Chris Gale has added, there's something a little bit there.
And if you listen to Chris Gabehart talk about it, he said, actually, me making this move was to make the 11 teams stronger.
And it did.
Yeah, because you still have Chris Gabehart's influence.
He's still there, yes.
He's just, but you now brought in Chris Gale, who I think probably Chris Gale has a little softer side, a personable side. And so the structure of Chris Gabehart, who does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And now you brought in a softer side that just polishes on that. And Chris Gale, let's go back to the spring. Martinsville race in the spring. Denny didn't feel like he ever had what he really needed there out of his race cars. Chris Gale made some changes. It's the first time he really did it, and they dominated. So I think they were good again this weekend. Had a motor failure.
Right.
But in the hunt. But they've been on that, when you win that first race of the third round,
yeah, that's it.
You got 2 more weeks that you don't have to worry about anything.
They've been massaging on not only a race car, but been spending a lot of time in the simulator and just working on it. I agree with you. I think Denny, 5th time in the championship 4, and I think he's going to be, and he finished 2nd in the spring at Phoenix as well. So he was really, really good there.
Yeah, let's go to his teammate.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe.
I mean, look at the run that this group's on. And if you, I mean,
It's unreal.
and I hate to even go there. You look at overall points, just total points for the season, they're right up there. And that's really the second half of the season has been phenomenal for this group. And James, I feel like Chase Briscoe has let James Small kind of become comfortable in his position. Mm-hmm. I feel like with Martin, he was always on edge about where things were going to go, if it was going to, things were going to fall apart. I feel like this pairing just has chemistry and belief in each other, and I don't feel like there's the what's going to go wrong. I think it's what can we do to win.
Right.
And I think it's a different mentality.
It started in the spring. James actually talked about Kansas. It certainly didn't start at Phoenix. They finished 35th at Phoenix in the spring. But James talks about Kansas. A light went on. A light went on with Chase, and a light went on with James. And I agree with you. I think that combination, I think you've got Joe Gibbs racing with last year, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin. You say, man, they're championship caliber teams. I think they might have taken these 2 teams with the changes and made them even better.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that completely.
I would
agree with that completely. I mean, it's last year at this time, I would have said that the 20 car was by far the best car at JGR.
Yeah, I'm not.
And I wouldn't say that now.
No, I don't think so.
I think the 20 car is really good.
Really good. Yeah,
but
really
I just wouldn't say that. I think
wouldn't say they're better.
To your point, I think the other 2 teams have elevated.
Right. I wouldn't say they're better. I would, but
I think part of that is Chris Gaypart being in that kind of community role of competition director because he has the ability to have impact on all 4.
So Joe Gibbs Racing, 2 brand new combinations, crew chiefs and drivers.
So should I give you the drawback on Joe Gibbs Racing?
What's the drawback?
Did you see how well they ran at New Hampshire?
Yeah, no, that's the challenge. That's a question. You're right.
I just like...
Yeah.
And that was where the whole yellow cars comment came out, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because the Penske cars dominated there.
Yeah.
But you know who ran... Who was second in class there?
Hendrick Motorsports.
Yes, they were.
Yes, and let's talk a little Hendrick Motorsports. While we had new combinations for Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe and his crew chief, tried and true with Hendrick Motorsports. Yes. Rudy and William, they both combinations. Cliff and Kyle, Rudy and William have been together for 5 years. They've kind of been through the ringer. Cliff has won a championship with Kyle before. William and Rudy have been here. These are more tried and true combinations.
William and Rudy have been to 3 consecutive Final Fours.
They're due.
They I mean, at least they have the notebooks of understanding, and they're going to a place that I think especially, and no disrespect, I agree with Chris Gaypart, and history agrees with it. Ryan Blaney not being in the championship 4 opens it up to everybody else.
Yep, I think so. And I think it's but when you look at that most recent test on a flat 1 mile racetrack, Hendrick Motorsports has got to feel fairly good going into Phoenix, as good as you feel going into a race week.
Yeah. I think that was one where I really felt like they had talked. I had talked to Chad Canales earlier in the year, and he talked about we just got to continue to make our short track program better. They've done that, and that's what they do. And they put their head to something, they figure it out.
Yep.
And that's, I think, Rudy and the momentum of this weekend really good for Rudy and William. I think William's got a lot of confidence at this point. The movie, like you talked about, the movie made on Blaney was one you make with confidence when you believe in it. They're in a good spot.
I have a big picture overall belief that the 2 things that I believe will happen in this sport are Christopher Bell will be a champion and maybe multi-time champion, and William Byron will be a champion and maybe multi-time champion. Well, you got to win that first one, and I really like where William Byron is going into this with that confidence that you just talked about.
I do. I would, and I said this on Late Shift earlier this week. I feel like there are co-favorites. I think it's Denny Hamlin and William Byron.
Yep, I can buy that.
I would if I were setting a betting book, I would put odds on those the same. When we looked it up, Denny Hamlin was favored over William Byron, so I said if I've got money, I'm putting on William Byron because I think they're equal. That's a better payback.
The irony of it is let's say we're doing that, and again, let's say that those are the 2 favorites. I love playing with house money. If you're Chase Briscoe and James Small and Cliff and Kyle, I love not being the favorite for those 2 because I think those 2 could ruin everything.
Yes, and I think Cliff Daniels, Kyle Larson, The only one in here that's won a championship.
Yep, that's right.
Been there, done that.
Yep.
Executed. They executed this weekend.
Boy.
Cliff's talk about this thing was, we just need to do our work. We just need to do our job. Mm-hmm. If everybody does their job, we're going to be fine. And that's what they did. Yep. And they were.
They were. Awesome.
They put that together. I could make arguments for all four.
Yep. Cup Series is going to be awesome. That is for sure. NASCAR Xfinity Series, we have Connor Zilisch, his first time in the playoffs, joined by fellow rookie Carson Kvapil, first time in the playoffs. Junior Motorsports also has Justin Allgaier, 8 times in the playoffs, and the defending champion. And Jesse Love making his first playoff start from Richard Childress Racing. What's your take on what we're going to have here in the Xfinity Series?
Yeah, I guess earlier I said that Taylor Gray got himself. He didn't. That was a misstep on mine, but still a great win for those guys. What's my take on this one? We've seen this before. When JRM puts 3 in.
Justin Allgaier referenced this in the post-race interview.
The fourth won it last time. The challenge I see, I think a lot of people see this as like, wow, we're really good. But the challenge to me is that your resources get diluted, they split because you've got 3 different teams working on this. So it's not like you can put all of your eggs in the basket of Justin Allgaier. You can't put all of your eggs in the basket of Connor Zilisch. You have to, these 3, obviously, I feel like the champion does come out of JRM because as a whole, I think JRM's been the best organization all year long.
Right. And I think you look at Connor, best performance all year long, Justin, second best performance and all that experience and championship experience. I agree with you on that. And
yes, we will say, and this can go to our next conversation too. It's going to be hard to say that you don't have Connor Zilisch as your champion after all the wins.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that in the Truck Series too. But Justin Allgaier comes back and he runs well at this place. Mm-hmm. This is a place that you shift. He shifts a lot. And works forward. Carson Kvapil. How about the run that he had after getting spun out to get himself into the playoffs?
I
love the grit.
I listened to their radio, and that was good listening. That was good coaching, good listening. Keep your young driver's head in the game. Kick him in the tail without reminding him he's mad. You know what I mean? They did a nice job. Andrew Overstreet,
I think, does a great job with him. You know, if we didn't have Connor Zilisch.
Oh my gosh, the rookie season that Carson Kvapil has had has been amazing.
I mean, just so under the radar.
Rookie Connor running for the championship.
Yes.
If Connor Zilisch is not here, we're talking about, oh my God, there's a rookie running for the championship. Yes. Now it's like, oh, Kvapil's also in. You know, I mean, it just is.
I think the momentum of last weekend and overcoming the last piece is a good building block coming into another place at Phoenix.
I did Travis Carson's dad's PR. And I know those guys from Millbridge, so we were talking afterward. And Travis and I have talked about just Carson, just the frustration of trying to get that first win and that goose egg in the win column. And I said, I thought Martinsville might be a good spot to do it. And Travis and I were talking on pit road, and I said, well, if you can't do it at Martinsville, maybe Phoenix would be a good place to do it. And Travis is like, yeah, I think we'll take that. You know, so yes. I like where that team is.
I do too. And I want to back up Justin Allgaier.
Yeah.
Jim Pullman.
Moving
on. How does that affect it?
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know where that plays out.
I don't know if this plays. Let's win one together for the final time. Because remember last year when Justin got totally upside down and Jim called him out on the radio. I don't know. This is such an emotional relation. There's a lot of emotion in this relationship. And sometimes emotion in a relationship is a really, really good thing. And sometimes emotion in a relationship is a bad thing. And I think I think their championship hopes are going to, on what they can do with that relationship. I don't know. It's just going to be fascinating. And
we didn't really talk about Jesse Love
and Danny Stockman.
And I like Danny, but boy, they backed themselves into this one.
Mike Bagley talked about this on the morning drive. Jamie McMurray, the quote afterward for Jesse Love is, after that day, he needs a beer and a cigarette. which is, you know, I mean, it was ugly.
It was a case and a pack.
Yes, it was ugly.
It was. Pit road. They had a pit road tire interference call. I think they had a speeding penalty. They just they tried to give this thing away.
Yeah, let
they
me
took a 20 point advantage and came back and just about lost it.
We've ran out of shots in this revolver. Let's go to the gun cabinet and bring out another one and keep shooting ourselves in the foot. But
they made it.
They made it. And
they made it.
You never know. So there we go.
The piece I would say here is they're the only single team. So they are completely focused on what.
One welcome.
Well, I say that though.
Well, we have
an owners championship.
Yeah, Austin Hill's in the owners championship as well as Eric Almirola's cars that Joe gives. So that's a little different. Yeah. So truck series: Corey Heim, Caden Honeycutt, Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum. Boy, this one here.
If Corey Heim doesn't win this championship, there's going to be people.
Average finish this year for Corey Heim, 5.2, 11 wins.
And really should be 13 or 14.
Yes. Remember those that got away early in the year?
Homestead, when he had an electrical problem, it was cutting the engine off and finished third.
Yeah.
Cut a tire at Martinsville in the spring race. Contact with Caden Honeycutt. There's just...
Yeah, beauty... I like this. I like this foursome here because you've got Corey and Scott Zipadelli. Scott's won a championship before with Brett Moffitt years ago.
Yep.
Boy, you got Ty Majeski and Joe Shear Jr. Joe's a two-time champion. They're the defending champions. Winless, and yet
maybe you get the win. Maybe you get the W today's.
If you're Zippy and Corey, you got to be. I would have preferred Majeski not be one of these four drivers.
Majeski or Lane Riggs.
Well, there's that true.
You may be dreading that Majeski's in, but I'm pretty glad that Lane Riggs is not.
That's a good point. Lane Riggs is not in on the basis of a
tiebreaker.
Second. Oh yeah, I was so fortunate. I talked about this. I listened to Carson Quaffle Radio on Saturday. I listened to Jimmy and Caden on Friday night. Mm-hmm. That was must listen to radio. Listen to them as they made their way forward, and Lane passed a truck, and Caden to this, and Caden is that, and then we finished and we tied. And what's the tiebreaker? Is they're scrambling? I
think Caden finished second at
Martinsville. It was the Martinsville second place finish that got him the tiebreaker.
I think he also had an earlier second.
The third, I think it was.
Okay, maybe that was.
It was. I believe it was the Martinsville finish that was the tiebreaker. But anyhow, it was they won the tiebreaker, and so I love Scott Zipadelli and Corey Heim, second season together. Joe Shear, fourth season together. Second season together for Mark Hillman. You look at Jimmy and Caden, 7 races. And here we go.
Yeah, I think this is a great run for Caden because he's done it through multiple rides. Yep. And I think, I brought this up last night on the late shift, but I think a little bit of kudos has to go back to Young's Motorsports.
Yeah.
If they didn't give Caden the ride at Watkins Glen, he wouldn't be eligible.
That 1 week that he had a week that he
had to figure something out.
Right.
And Young Motorsports brought a truck to the racetrack, and they
that's a good point. That's
where Caden got his opportunity. But yeah, it was It was interesting as you look at this and the truck race, and I was home watching this. I wasn't in the booth with you guys. But if you look at the end of it, we knew Corey Heim was guaranteed through. That was a given. The next 4 positions, 3 in and 1 out, were separated by 1 point.
It's unreal.
4 positions. Tied.
And tied.
And then tied.
Yes.
And the separation, it's just
truck series set aside. Corey Heim has done amazing stuff. He really truly has, and I don't know. I can't imagine if they don't win this championship what that's going to trigger. But that's the nature of what we do.
But I think
the other thing is, Scott Zipadelli and Corey Heim have known this format, and I am fairly confident that they didn't wake up on Monday morning and think, "Oh, we got to get ready for Phoenix now."
And we've thought that they should have won the championship the last 2 years too.
That's true.
And he's not done it. So there's a scar there that they understand the focus that needs to happen. To your point, I think Ty Majeski, I think this could be the turning point. ThorSport has not had that good a year.
No.
Winless, I believe.
Yes, winless.
Which we don't think that about.
2007 is the last time they've gone winless like this.
So maybe this is the answer to it. We'll see where that plays out. I mean, Ty Majeski's a great short track racer. He and Joe Shear, they work so well together. We'll see what the weekend brings.
And then Mark Hillman and Tyler Ankrum.
They got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
You can play as free as you want to here.
They do. I like this combination. This goes back early this year. I had a visit with Mark about this. Ankrum post race just railed his team. Might have been Vegas, somewhere like that.
Yeah, I remember
afterward. And Mark wakes up Sunday morning and his text is just blowing up, like he wasn't aware of it. And he wakes up.
Tyler made the comments in an interview on TV, right?
Right, in an interview, yes.
Which a crew chief doesn't see that.
So get home, Mark wakes up the next morning, his phone is at like 70 messages. He's like, what in the world is going on? What happened now? And he sees this. And he got with Tyler, and they took that as a building block learning experience. They didn't allow that to go further and continue on. That Sunday, it was a Sunday. That Sunday, they had a powwow, and then they got together Monday at the race shop, and they turned that into a positive. They went and won Rockingham not too far after that, and that sort of thing. So it's fun watching this. Mark is a veteran crew chief coming from a long line. He understands the crew chief role. His dad's a journeyman, iconic crew chief. Mark certainly knows the business, and him and that young driver have really done a nice job together. Yeah. And here they are.
They have.
Quietly.
They have. And I want to go back. I mean, there's two other things I want to touch on. Caden Honeycutt in the 52 truck. Wouldn't it be a great for Hellman for
Stuart Friesen?
Yeah.
And that team.
That whole program after they won at Texas.
Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Yeah, sorry.
They won at Michigan.
It was a big fast racetrack. Sorry
they
about
won
that.
At Michigan. Yeah, they won at Michigan.
Won at Michigan, got them, and Stewart has that just terrible wreck
modified crash
in the big block modified race, and takes them out. Now they're back, and now they're in it. And just this is the way the racing gods work in these support series. Lane Riggs is not in the owners or in the drivers' championship, but because the 18 truck points finished behind the 45, who had two different drivers, the Nice Motorsports truck, and the 7, who had multiple drivers for Spire. The 34 truck is part of the owners' championship, so Lane Riggs has still got something to race for.
Yep. Oh.
We'll see where it all goes.
All good stuff. It's going to be a great, great weekend, that's for sure. We're going to step away. When we come back, we will set you up for the big weekend out at Phoenix. Welcome back. It is Crew Call here on the Motor Racing Network. Todd Gordon and Steve Post. And when we look at Phoenix this weekend, a little bit different schedule. All three series have the same scenario, Todd, where we have separated practice and qualifying. Let's all
three series. Talk about that.
Yes, exactly. So let's talk about that.
Different than, it's not just double the amount of practice time, because most of these series get 25 minutes,
right,
and then they go straight into qualifying. The challenge of that weekend is that you've already done your race inspection. So the changes you can make are limited to...
Still limited.
Very limited to tire pressures. You could do some shock adjustments on the... You can't take shock off, but you can change the adjusters in them. You can do some sway bar adjustments, and you can do some wedge adjustments, heights of the four corners. Now, we get a 50-minute practice, and it's going to be back more traditional, where we do an opening inspection for all three series. We let them go have a 50-minute practice. They can change anything they want. Anything you want. Because you're going to come back through for your race inspection after that practice. So that means springs can change, geometries can change, cambers can change. I mean, this opens the gamut of multiple things. If I'm a crew chief, I'm just wishing it's an hour and 50, not 50 minutes.
Right. Yeah, more. Yeah.
Yeah. If you go back pre-COVID, we used to have an hour 25 on Friday. We had 2 50 or 55-minute practices on Saturday. So we had 3 hours 25 minutes or 3 hours 15 minutes of practice.
But now, still an hour of practice still is a lot more than we're used to.
50 minutes, and you've got a lot of things. And within these teams, I think everybody's going to have to kind of distribute things that they want.
Well, and that's the fascinating part to me, because what is Alex Bowman working on? What is Ty Gibbs working on? What is even
They're working
Alliance?
on whatever the other three crew chiefs just asked for.
Exactly. So that's what gets interesting to me, is how they do this, how they manage it. It's a great schedule.
And that opens up Thursday with a truck practice at 4:35 Thursday afternoon. Pacific time. It's Pacific time to start with. By Sunday, it's Mountain time, right?
I'm just glad I have a smartphone.
Don't forget your clocks.
Yes, set your clock
Roll
back. Yes.
Sunday night or Saturday night.
Except for us in Phoenix.
Yes.
Where they don't celebrate daylight savings time. or standard. I don't know. I still haven't figured it out, other than our clocks don't change in Phoenix. So let's look at the schedule. Motor Racing Network, our first broadcast is at 5:30 Eastern Time on Friday afternoon, NASCAR Cup Series practice session. That practice session lead us into 7 o'clock, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship Race, 7 o'clock Eastern Time Friday night. Saturday, triple header coverage, 1:30 Eastern Time, the ARCA Menard Series, the Desert Diamond Casino West Valley 100. The season finale, we're going to crown the ARCA West champion. 5 o'clock, NASCAR Cup Series qualifying. Again, these are all Eastern times. 7 o'clock Eastern Time, NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship Race. And on Sunday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, our airtime for the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Race. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Cannot wait. Been talking about this for months and months, Todd. We're getting ready to find out who's crowned champion.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to watch that Cup practice and see who wins that. Then we're going to watch the truck race and see who wins that. We could have any of these guys. Anybody in all three series could come home as a victor. And I think there's an opportunity for us to have a mixed situation where a non-championship 4-car still wins.
I think so on Sunday, and I think we could have multiple champions on the front stretch Saturday, celebrating, and maybe even on Friday with Lane Riggs.
I could see Lane Riggs winning the race and winning the Owners' Championship, and whoever finishes behind him be.
That's why you need to tune into MRN all weekend long. He's Todd Gordon. I'm Steve Post. Thanks for joining us this time here on Crew Call on the Motor Racing Network.